Hello, everybody. A warm welcome to CMAC's first annual Poetry Night. This month is a double celebration as we honor both the captivating art of Lip Hop and National Mexican Heritage Month. We're thrilled to have you all here, whether you're a poet or poetry enthusiast. And I will be introducing our Lit Hop friends, Andrea and Vaughn, right now. And they're going to talk about Lit Hop at the moment. So yeah, you guys are welcome to come up on the stage and talk about Lit Hop.
Thanks for coming out to CMAC for their Art Hop Poetry Night reading. We're here as a little Lit Hop teaser. Lit Hop, how many of you have been or heard of it? Just a couple. Okay, good. So then we can tell you all about it. So Lit Hop was formed in 2016 by California's current poet laureate Lee Herrick and Lisa Lee Herrick, the writer. This will be our 6th year putting on the festival in the Tower District. Von Torres here was the past director for 2 years, and then I'm kind of moved into that role this year. So if you want to tell them maybe little details about next Saturday.
Yeah, so Lit Hop, it's coming up on Saturday, October 14th, and it starts at 12 p.m., and it's at 9 different venues throughout the Tower District. And so I just want to give a shout out to those venues. So Alchemist Coffee Lab, Fresno Music Academy and Arts, so the Doors Gallery and Vista Theater, Hearts Haven Youth Bookstore, Labyrinth Art Collective, Spectrum Art Gallery, Teaser World Tea Market, and the Tower Yoga Lotus Room. And so, so the readings start at 12, and they start at the top of every hour from 12 to 4:45 p.m. And then at 5 p.m., we have our headline event with our current California Poet Laureate, Lee Herrick, and our previous California Poet Laureate, and also former U.S. Poet Laureate, Juan Felipe Herrera. And so we're excited to just have us all gather in the Tower next Saturday. So come check us out. Our website is lithopfresno.org, and you can also find us on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, and just an extra shout out to California Humanities, who made this year's event possible with the Humanities for All Quick Grant. Everything is free during Lit Hop, and nothing is ticketed during the day. So you can show up at any venue, and we have flyers with schedules on them, and our website has that as well. Just pop in at the beginning of each hour at the venue of your choice, but you do need to register for the headline event at 5. Seating is limited. That is at the Tower Yoga Lotus Room, and so you can reserve your ticket. No need to purchase, but to reserve on Eventbrite. So thanks for being here, and we hope to see you out at Lit Hop on the 14th.
All right, so I'm going to be introducing our poets. So our first poet is going to be Leslie Quintina, pen name LKQ, and she's a fourth year at Fresno State majoring in creative writing. She's a vice president of the Chicanics and Writers and Artists Associations, and has been published in the literary journals Fly, Cockroaches, and Poets. Her theme is around love and the human experience in nature, and she's grateful to have her life surrounded by talented writers and artists from the Fresno community. She hopes to be a children's author one day and a future English educator in the upcoming years. So without further ado, Leslie.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Yeah? Cool. I'll be reading 6 poems for you today. My first poem is called A Weed in the Garden. It's about kind of like experience of talking to my younger self and kind of getting rid of the bad parts of myself. So this is A Weed in the Garden. You are a part of us that grew from doubt, neglect, and insecurity. We tended to you, watering you like we were afraid of killing you, to have your chloroplast stain our hands. We didn't see the vines you stretched across our chest. You made a trellis out of our ribs. We tried companion planting to aid one another rather than compete against each other. But you like to take, your viticulture limbs suffocating our foundation. You became a witchweed clinging to our roots. Drown you in vinegar and salt, pollute you with pesticide to kill the bugs you've littered us with, caterpillars that eat us to grow and snails leaving us in holes. We'll use what's left, a compost made up of you, to nurture something new. You're in our roots, but I know we'll grow without you. Okay. My second poem is called For She Is Giving. It's kind of a letter to Mother Earth. I tend to write a lot about nature and earth in my poems, so this is one dedicated to Mother Earth. For she is giving. The world is a mother, and she knows that children fight. Brothers who pull red from one another's veins, their war trenches like small rivers when it rains. Sisters that wish to heal, cutting their hair to rid themselves of the guilt that comes with being female. I thought of how they would teach children that white men have the power in a world full of color. In a world made from the separation of a woman's hips, they would learn that Mother Earth likes to give. For she is far too gracious, and these men like to take. And no one knows how to give like the way a woman gives. The world is a mother, and she knows that children are greedy. They will fight over who got here first, who has more of a right. She will watch her children set fire to forests and pull oil from her womb. She will see their greed melt glaciers and how it'll pollute the oceans she is made up of. The world is a mother, and she knows that children cry. Little ones that barely grow their roots, buried in her dirt, hunger in their stomachs, pain within her core. She will shake the ground, send tsunamis, erupt volcanoes, because she is a mother and she is hurting. The world is a mother, and she endures, endures, endures. Okay, my next poem is kind of growing up with parents and kind of realizing as children we parent our parents more than they parent us sometimes. So this one goes out to my mom and dad. How do you mother? I mother when I see my father, a man of broken English, someone with no name here. I mother when I call to check in, his back hurts and his cough is worse. I mother trying to find the right medicine. I mother when I am with my mom. I mother when I offer her a moment to finally speak. She speaks of her mom, a woman I hardly knew, a woman she knew too well. I try to mother her in ways her mother never did. My next poem is kind of talking about the things that inspire me as a writer. This poem's called Secret Engines. Why is it that my father cries while my mother's face resembles stone? It only ever erodes when the rain pelts heavily. I wonder why I write only of sad things. Are the small things not also divine? I am haunted by the winter of 2016. A lost friend, do we ever find each other again? A weeping willow in the 4th grade. We heard tales of a ghost that sang beneath the dripping leaves. A childhood that haunts is a child always felt, always remembered. In a woman's body, I still cradle the child that cannot sleep. I still reach for my crying father. I try to chisel away at my mother. My next poem is a little sweet love poem that I wrote for my boyfriend. It's called Raison d'être, which means reason for being in French, and this is for Zachary. My love only exists in you. If I say that out loud, I will speak it gently, because love with you is gentle. My mouth does not belong to anyone else. There are days where my words are only meant for you. Kisses where your shoulder and neck meet. My arms were made to hold you. That I believe true. I see no other purpose than pulling you close, closer, and even then we are not close enough. My mind is only ever minded by you. No other soul has enraptured or walked this conscience. If I was only allowed a single thought, it would be of you. My love only exists in you. I will say it out loud so you know that it's true, because loving you is the one right thing that I can do. Thank you. And then my last one is a little long. It's called How to Harvest a Heart. 10 easy steps on the extraction of sorrow and grief. Tools needed: your mother's teapot, pruning scissors, and a very sad person. 1. Water the heart with the tears collected within the teapots that your mother collects. 2. Inside will be riddled with dust. Use your hair that you got from your father to clean it out, the same hair he'd use when you were a child to rid the spice from his eyes. 3. Once cleaned, the teapot will be placed on a bed that resembles the one you had as a child. You'll sit with it in your lap and let your head hang over the opening. 4. You'll cry and watch the tears gather in the porcelain cracks. Somehow this comforts you, a place where your sorrow can stay. 5. When the teapot is filled just enough, you'll grab a pair of pruning scissors. You'll open your shirt and expose your chest. You'll clip away the muscle and ribs that guard your heart. A vast opening in your chest, but you have never felt more open, more vulnerable. 6. You'll grab your heart, feel it beat in between your fingers. It is like an overripe strawberry, mushy, squelching, and it smells too sweet. 7. You'll place your heart in the teapot, close the lid, and concave into yourself. The hollowness allows for you to finally rest. 8. The heart will absorb all your tears. It will thicken and get fat with all of your grief. 9. When it's ready, it'll spill from the top of the teapot and bulge from its spout. The heart will crack the teapot even more. You'll watch the teapot breathe as if your heart was its own. 10. You'll plant it back into your chest. You'll realize that sorrow only ever made you grow. All you ever needed was just time to heal. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, Leslie, for those wonderful poetry collections. It was really nice. Going on to our second poet, he's going to be named Adam Navarez. So yeah, we have a little bio from Adam that he submitted. He hopes to have his poetry add eternal beauty, even if it's a little bit. So yeah, without further ado, Adam.
Good evening. I'll be reciting 4 pieces tonight. The first piece is The Devil You Know. Remind me of my transgressions, even those supposedly forgiven, and of all you failed to find in me. I will own the accusations, concede their consequences determine my duration in this purgatory. But darling, will the sentence stay? When reformation's light wanes to its least, dysfunction seems better than hopelessness? Will it be months or merely days before doubt, that emaciated beast, cries out for the blood of my loneliness? This next one is The Serpent That Swallowed a Deer. You took a life to which you had no right, and now this transgression is your worst fear. What a bitter consequence you wish you had known. To exploit this weakness is to make it your own. You are the serpent that swallowed a deer. Does his flesh still satisfy like before? Now even friends have become suspicious from down in your compromised position. Will you regurgitate his affection and save yourself in cold decafexis? This next one is Insignificant. Excuse me. In silence it sat between us, damning me for my ambivalence. I kept a knife against its throat, though I exalted its existence. What will was left began to wane as hours poured from an artery. Eclipsed in her indifference, insignificance would swallow me. Your implicit ultimatum left me desperate for an absolute that she would never offer me. My hope only served to convolute the tangled strands of lies and truth. When twisted with my misconception, slipped the noose around my frail reason and filled my lungs with resignation. Another dawn could never break to bless her smile to my memory. Acceptance like a tempest cast me on the shores of reality. I surrendered my last recourse to the cold grip of the second hand. In silence it read the verdict that fell with the final grain of sand. The pain of one last goodbye still pales to one more indifferent embrace. So as I twisted my blade in its throat, I memorized her darling face. Blind to the blood that marked my hands, unaware of its lifeless body, she bid farewell as we embraced the sole fruition of my folly. In silence it rested with us, staining the sheets with pools of crimson. Putrescence pervaded our dreams and immortalized my transgression. This last one is Set the Stage. I close my eyes, the curtains part, and with grace you take center stage. I know already from the start, you'll play the tragic heroine, but not who I will be again. Will I be the lone audience, forced to rewatch your darkest days, suffering without transcendence, and the fruition of your fears culminating in bitter tears? Will I play my role in silence like some worn-out marionette, given no choice but acceptance, condemned to make the same mistakes and promises I know I'll break? Sadly, even dreaming, I know, when you once more face the darkness, another will be your hero. For how could I be that again when I chose the role of villain? Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. I know that you were very excited to present with us today, so I'm very glad you did choose to respond and present today. Those were very beautiful words. Our third poet is Carolina Mata. She is a queer Mexican-American writer, editor, and bruja from Fresno in the Coachella Valley. She earned her master's in fiction with an emphasis on editing from Fresno State, where she served as senior fiction editor for the Normal School and vice president of the San Joaquin Literary Association for 2 years. She has been published in the San Joaquin Review, The Painted Cave, The Wild Blue Zion, and Psychopomp magazine. Currently, she is a reader for Split Lip magazine and an English tutor for California Teaching Fellows. She wishes to publish her short poem and poetry collection, Red and Roots, and hopefully finish her queer fantasy novel and lovesick chapbook of the Pisces Moon Poetry. So without further ado, Carolina.
Right. For today, I have 4 poems, all somewhat interconnected with the theme of ancestry, oneness, learning to love the self through it all. And we start with rosewater and cigar smoke. I long to be wrapped in rosewater and cigar smoke, to kneel at the altar of liminal space, and feel the singular hand of 1,000 ancestors on my head. To cry, to tear through my skull the worries of a twisted gut. They cradle will into my cranium, to discover, to preserve, to trust. It shimmers forth, carving deep into me, rivers of hope, and I shiver, weep, sigh to sleep, hope and snot through water dreams, transferring lifetimes of lived living. My longing slips into eternity. And here we have I Am from my manuscript, Read in the Roots. I am connected to the root, and the root is connected to the base, and the base is connected to the core. I am connected to the belly, and my belly goes way up, is connected to the heart, and the heart is connected to the crown, and the crown is connected to spirit, and spirit is in the core. Spirit is in the core. Spirit is in me. Not me as I am now, but past me, and me I will become, and me that knows all, and me that knows all is a part of the spirit, and me that knows all is connected to me. So me as I am now is connected to spirit. And when I cannot feel connected to spirit, I stomp my feet into the core and breathe deep through the crown, and the breath from the crown hits my heart. And I am again connected to the heart, and the breath goes way down and hits my belly, and I am again connected to my belly. And the breath hits my root, and I am connected to the root. I am connected to the root. I am the root. I am. My third poem is Conquer the World. It was recently published by the Wild Blue Zine, so I'd like to give them thanks for that. I've got dust. I've got heat in my bones. Agriculture and butchery in my DNA. Modelo and sweat for blood. Trauma, sarcasm, my inheritance. I stand away from the road, and I keep away from the fields, and I drown myself in the lake because I am embarrassed, confused, ashamed, because everyone wants to leave Fresno, they say. And when the water bubbles over and glasses out the sun, I feel a humming in my roots, and I know. I cannot hide. I am the sun, and the dirt, and the desert weeds, and even the nectarine trees. I am the dribbled Goldstein's floor and the humping neighborhood mutts. I am the conjure tricks and the aloe salve. I die in legacy, in destiny, in tragedy. I die in that mariachi-belted glory. I die with stories told about me from gossiping aunties who don't think they'll end up the same. None good, all rumor and folk legend, and Catholic scandal fantasy, all true. Brown cautionary tales of ambition, of assimilation, of resistance, of begrudging independence, dangerous to the little ones, the naive and inspired. Ghosts of the land, made all flesh and blood running toward a calling. And they will learn. They are the cow manured dusk and the NorCal heat. The midnight secrets and barbecue whispers, the pity, the pride and the fear. They are me. Me is we. And we are they that used to be them, and they that will be we again. Together we pray in the sweat-salt mass of the grapevines and tequila memories, the nightmares and the joy cackle wheezings. We are the PTSD, baptized in backroad semen and chicharron grease. The survivors, the surviving, and the survived. We are the real. The hairy arms and silver teeth, the armpit acne scars, and the chub rub pretty. We are not your porn search fantasies, your written probabilities, your poetic art exhibits that you charge for your self-back patting sensibilities. We are the running and the breathing, the wild and breaking free, the marching boots and bandana screams, the self-hating but always learning, the blossoming and the leaving behind the weeds of colonial insecurity. We are the fuck it. I'm soaring, not drowning today. Because today has been long enough, has taken long enough, and we have eternity waiting for us to fill it up. So fuck it, and fuck them, and fuck you too, if them is you. For we will burst through from the Central Valley dirt and concrete, the loneliness and the healing. We will conquer the world. And my last poem, to leave it on a list, on something a little bit sweeter, is called Self-Love, Onion Layers Deep. In the roots, in the belly, in the onion layers deep, in the darkness, in the light, in the roaring bright, in the core of human and life, of cosmic and time, in the portal of the silent sublime, in the infinite and everywhere. I love myself there. Thank you.
Thank you, Catalina, for those heartwarming words. Really, really touched the heart there. Our fourth poet is going to be Richard Lee. Richard is a great mentor of the troubled youth in the neighborhoods he grew up around. He was born on August 8th, 1972, and raised in Fresno, California. He is also a great cook and has his own business called Bowls Flavor to Go. A brilliant poetry writer and of romance, adversity, and inspiration. He is a family man and a devoted husband. Without further ado, Richard.
Greetings. I have two poems that I know by heart, but I'm going to put it out here. And one is for emotional abuse in relationships. So here's the first one. When it's hurting, you often get confused. You tend to ignore it from being mentally abused. Your previous relationship have encountered misery. Therefore, the meaning of love remains a mystery. You fell from the heart, he fell from the mind. Affection divided by sex is a waste of time. I have something for you, you have something for me. We both yearn for companionship to make love our destiny. I'm your gallant security, inspiring affinity. Open your heart as I search the vicinity. Affection encourages the soul to repair. When it's hurting, it's the cause of emotional despair. Okay, that's the first poem. The second poem is called Picture This. And this is for my beautiful wife. Picture us on an island, making love like art, and come to acknowledge that it's my heart. As my heart beats for my soul to live, our pictures in love and commence to give. All I can to express that in this dream is an island that lives the king and queen, falling rapidly in the depths of passion like never before in ambitious fashion. Shadowed by ecstasy in the surface of bliss, you'll only serenade if you can only picture this. That's it. You have a great day.
Alrighty, thank you, Richard, for those beautiful words. And without further ado, I'm gonna introduce our fifth poet. His real name is Carlos Villarreal. Poet was born and raised in a small town called Magdalena. Poet loves to travel with a typewriter with friends from the underground scene, from Los Angeles to San Francisco. Writing raw and abstracted words is where he found his true voice on the road. He's been putting poems on social media to share with the world. Poet has a book coming later next year, and he's ready to share with everyone who loves it. So if you're interested in reading Poet's poetry book, feel free to grab him after the show. And without further ado, Poet.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Bear with me a little bit. All right. So I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to read one that I wrote about Fresno, but really it was about my part of Fresno. I came from a little town called Malaga, and it's my roots, and this is basically what I know, and I call it the best little city blues. The best little city was hard on me. Yes, the best little city has been hard on me. Got me fucked up more than his old lady could with her relationship political wrangling that burns his biscuits in the morning. These hard time blues play like Q97 FM cheap dreams. These Monday morning blues with Folger smiles and wake and bake cologne. Poet junkie wakes up. It's hard to breathe with tar bronchi. Takes a deep breath. He takes it in, those Monday morning blues. Keeps crying from empty temples. Even the fridge is singing those Monday morning blues. Sorry, baby girl, my cowhide billfold died of starvation 2 weeks ago. And who are you to say that he's not poor enough to even qualify? Did you even know that EBT dreams are made of these? He's got kids to feed. $220 ain't enough to water a seed. But isn't it good enough? But the rent-a-cops and Toys R Us badges escort him to leave, wiping the sweat and tears off his face. These best little city blues. Damn. When your stomach sings off key and stray dog snarls, you better keep that hunger, but keep that smile. You're gonna need it in this town. And most importantly, make moves in silence. Don't let no one steal your dreams. Yeah, reality lagged on me again. So I smoked some homegrown all day, joint after joint, and feeding my head like the oven-hiding mouse that said, go chase some rabbits through those best little city wonderland creed. The night reincarnates the night before, who takes me and my joint to ashtray cemeteries of yesterday's emotions that finally needed to be put to rest. The sun was feeling fatigue over carbon monoxide and methamphetamine Malaga perfume. Dehydrated summer smog mind that dreams of LA in some warm 40-ounce grins, and tower districts dancing with the rats, trying to drink away those best little city blues on Friday and Saturday nights. They also take Snow White without the 7 dwarfs behind heaven's door. Best little city blues. Yeah, that's right. Junkie habits make you so broke that your zodiac sign is a dead cat on the side of the road. Everything went dark. Lights went out. Then a beat stopped when others skipped in awe. I knew that cat. Cold blood little city. Morning gave it up to the night in one day. I made today my bitch, and I sold that green for the cream. I'm 18 and vision in a dream that started from Fresno County jail cell epiphanies to clock in to graveyard shift crimes, those overtime disasters. Yeah, those nickel, and 9 penny crimes. But this is a cutthroat city on stolen land of opportunity, these best little city blues. The street poet said to his homies and neighbors, when will it come a day when we stand up and say, hey, life, we're sick of your shit, man. And we all get treated like a stepchild from different baby mamas. Why do the richies uptown get entitled to favoritism and every acquisitive prayer fulfilled? And may God have mercy on your soul if you have one, and I'll catch you on the rebound. That's when we hear people with skeptic street philosophies and philosophy opinions that say, there goes Charlie Leonzo, a poetical street bum. Yeah, that nickel and 9 penny prophet. Thank you. All right. Well, level me again. Let's see. This one is dedicated to the Latinos and to my native side as well. I'm a word slinger on a winning streak. I'm wanted dead or alive by the evil forces. My words are sharper than any double-edged sword. I write the way I fight in a style only I claim that knocks the fire out of you. But I'm dropping flavor bombs, that means I'm good as fuck. If it was atomic, there will be no traces of life, but then it'll be meaningless. Only archaeologists have to dig deeper to find hieroglyphics deep in the tombs of the dome's catacomb. It makes you try to put a finger at the moon, but you focus on your opinion on the person you aimed it to, and you miss it while I spit that heavenly glory. Your judgment is worthless. Didn't you realize I'm an outlaw? With a gypsy soul and heart of a wolf. I could tear you up like I'm a cannibal and eat whack poets like I'm Lecter Hannibal and come at you like if Joe Pesci is my spirit animal. So let me cook it up. Actually, let me dig it up. Come out of the sand like a phoenix of lore. The gods took a delight to, but the devil and his demons gave him the reason to fight. God gave him strength to sling faster on a typewriter that sings half of a broken piano player in wooden saloons. I feel out of key with uplifting conclusions. From the soul, my heart is a book with a story to tell. Hellhounds on my trail, fire underneath me that keeps burning and makes me hum the blues. I feel you, Robert Johnson. Heaven hears me cry, bending diatonics, one key after key, blasting letters on paper, and I can tell my boy Willie Brown was delighted, like bullets to the flesh. So if you come at me losing your cool and try to settle an argument with a hand grip full of lead, just remember, karma's a bitch and she's got her eye on you, and the devil's creeping like a thief in the night. I chose my typewriter as my weapon. Anti-drugs are words that surface the dome like cloud-9 smokes in a green room. Who am I? I am who I am. And any slander that you send my way, I'm your Huckleberry. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end up ending it with this one right here. See if I can find it. Well, actually, I got two. I don't know if how many of you guys are going to the fair this year. How many of y'all going to the fair? Let's see some hands. No? Okay. I wrote this one back. I wrote this one back then when I was in high school. So she was the one who wanted to ride the Ferris wheel before the night was over, just to see the view of her city. The melancholies Fresno gave her was completely forgotten 5 spins ago. Yeah, which we came to a halt on the very top. And what she's seen was the beauty over the grimy. No one saves us in this world. I know that now. They gave us the tools to transform towards our own rescue in the catacombs of our own mind, so slippery, so dark. This is a bad neighborhood. Where we fear to be alone. Time gets thrown off. We come out of ourselves to be active, to be human beings, to be a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, anything in that category, a helping hand. But never forget, we are a beautiful mess. Thank you.
Once again, I like to sorry, I don't think my mic is on. Once again, I like to thank everyone who's presented. You guys are doing a great job. Love everything you do so far. Thank you for making this happen. I am very appreciative and thankful for you guys all coming here for today. And on to our last and final poet is going to be Juan Luis Guzman. Juan Luis Guzman is the son of Mexican immigrants, a poet and professor and performing literary arts director. From 2017 to 2019, he was the executive director of Lit Hop. Guzman earned a MFA in creative writing, emphasis with poetry from Fresno State, and has completed fellowships from Macondo Writers Workshop, Canto Mundo, and the California Arts Council. His work has appeared in the Georgia Review and the Rumpus, among other literary journals. He is a vice chairman of the Selma Arts Council, where he helps coordinate, direct, and produce programming for the Selma Arts Center. Guzman would be honored with the President's Award at Fresno's Arts Council 2023 Horizons Award, and he is also a professor in the Humanities Department at Fresno City College. So without further ado, Juan Luis Guzman.
Thank you. Okay, how's everyone doing? Yes, poetry. Yeah, it's poetry reading. You can have fun. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna just read a few pieces from a manuscript that I'm currently working on. I grew up in Selma, and a lot of my poetry deals with kind of that community, rural life. Both of my parents, like she said in the bio there, are Mexican immigrants, so I grew up with them in the fields and that kind of life. And so the book deals with issues like that, but also issues of masculinity and queerness and a bunch of other things. So here's some poetry for y'all. This is Trigger. All day he's been testing the gun inside the dry mouth of the Kings River, against embankments and beer cans, until my father says, "Come here, boy," and steadies me to lift it. His breath heavy against my back, the shiny pistol in my grasp, his impossible hand around my hand, the familiar weight of it against the cold steel. I feel him standing with me for the first time. At last, I fire the gun. Onions, wait for fingers to dig and cup. My father grows Fresno sweet reds. I spend weekends in the sun learning how to draw out each bulb carefully from beneath itself. Mornings alongside my father's friends, their breathy curse words. Sweating together, we take shears, clip stems, place onions in burlap to dry in the heat. At night, I take off my clothes for a girl with a swimming pool who studies my brown hands. I hide my body every time I come out from the water, emerging from the dark, the way I yank onions all day, bare and so new, the sting of them still on my skin, red in the sweet air. I'm going to end with this poem. When I was in fourth grade, President Clinton came to Selma. Does anyone remember this? President Bill Clinton, when he came to Selma, spoke at a middle school, and I had the chance to be there. And one of the things that was most something that I remember so much about that is that not only was I there to meet the president, but in the surround of this school where he was speaking were peach orchards. And my dad was there at the peach orchards picking peaches. And I just remember just this weird dynamic of being here to see the president and also knowing that my dad was working in the fields outside of this whole fanfare. This poem includes lines from the speech that President Clinton gave that day. Surrounded by peach trees, President Clinton speaks to my fourth grade class. Back to school day, and my sister has been dead 1 year, 10 months. This is how you get to the other side. We've been moving into a new world. When pressed against your palm, the flesh of a good peach renders a slight give. This is how to use your hands as measure. By the time you are grown, I hope no one will be afraid of. A clingstone pit is a father that fits inside my fist. Before taking a bite, my father scrubs clean the pesticides from my first peach. Orchard is another word for son. This is how to open every piece of fruit, desperately. In my father's trunk, shears and canvas sack with leather straps. I'm glad to be in the #1 agricultural region. I wait to shake the president's hand, handpicked to meet him because my sister is dead. This is how to bury a bone. Only white peaches are plucked by gloved hands. This is how you learn to handle other people's things. Some of the things you do, they're just not going to work out. In my father's trunk, dust and rot. At the end of every ladder, a sun. A peach tree's average lifespan is 12 years, 5 more than my sister's. Every tree can begin in a jar if you soak the seed overnight. Every sister was once a seed. A stranger teaches me the proper way to shake a hand as if no one else had bothered. This is how to swallow a bullet. I take his hand, looking into every eye. On the edge of campus, acres of trees and fathers. I hope you won't have to worry about a world in which you and your family could be destroyed by. This is how to keep fear away. Watch from behind a fence. In my father's trunk, every fence he's ever loved. I really believe that you will live in the best period in American history. Things my father could hear from the trees that day, helicopter blades and blades against branches, boom of speakers and boom of fruit falling into buckets. This is how you forget an entire country. Remind yourself, a freestone pit never clings to the flesh it bears. Thank you.
Alrighty, I would like to end with thank you guys for coming. Audience, thank you guys for coming in and listening to our poets presentation, as well as listening to the words of art. Thank you, poets, for being here. It really means a lot to me again. You guys are the ones who made this happen. So thank you guys again. We'll be taking a short 30-minute break and hope to hop back on with some lovely open mic participants. Thank you.
Is my mic on? I can hear myself. All right. So, a long time ago, I started my poetry journey, and this is one of the first songs or poems that I've written. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. And here we go. Some time ago, I watched an anime called Naruto, a Japanese anime television show with forbidden ninjutsus, dope-ass ninjutsus, evil adversaries scheming people chained to demons. The show taught me a couple lessons some of y'all should know, that self-doubt in your mind is all testing, a part of your life that keeps on suppressing your chakra flow. This world will call you weak, it's your job to prove it wrong. When I first started watching, I was sleeping, I won't lie, but first was something about young Uzumaki opened my eyes. His sole existence was despised. When he was lonely, he would cry. His entire village shunned him, but he didn't know why. All that garbage that they told him, it just wasn't enough. His ninja way was purely golden, so he wouldn't give up. The hidden leaf wouldn't believe the silly things he would say, but destiny foretold that he would lead their way. Society put pressure on this fictional kid. It suited him because he never stopped talking his shit. He told them I vowed to never go back on my word. I put my commerce on my back until the day I'm defeated. And you could laugh all day and deny what you've heard. But once I set my mind to it, I promise I will achieve it. And before my life is through, I'm a Okage too, because I'm a hidden leaf shinobi and you better believe it. I witnessed my life's greatest lessons. I've seen the highs and lows, but they couldn't be more stressing than they were for Naruto. Both of our fathers left anger-filled monsters in our soul. Now every time we start losing, the demons take control. I let the smoke cover my eyes because I gave up looking for fate. And now when the demon gets to rise, it's because I feed it all this hate. I chose to reject opportunity and now I regret it. I chose to forget what you do to me and now I can't accept it. Woo! Woo! Awesome. All right, thank you for listening, you few people, and all the ghosts that came in to celebrate the spooky month of October. I hope you, after living guys and gals, enjoyed it.
And those living guys and gals, I hope you also enjoyed it. Thank you.
Not likely at this point. Fire when ready. All right, this is a not terribly long, not terribly short poem about family history and California geography. On the way. Sweeping across the valley floor here in Dust Bowl West, expatriates in their double wides and single wides, their piece at a time pickups, their $2.99 baseball caps from AM PM, rolling over the first sets of grassy hills as brown as any overbaked biscuit, misled at every switchback, every rise and concomitant fall to think, we're almost there. Snaking through the scrub oak grove, skirting the vast wet valley floor, a becalmed inland sea, belying its name, Clear Lake. Resuming the hilly wandering, a glimpse of Lake Mendocino playing the stop-and-go game of Caltrans Says up Old 101. Smooth concrete freeway lurching into shoulderless two lanes, further encroached on by dozers and backhoes, swooping through final forested stretches before the coast's first harbinger, fog, rising unseen but felt in goosebump-inducing chill, plodding across the marshy headlands along a stretch of highway unchanged in 50 years. Finally, Eureka, Archimedes would cry. County seat of Humboldt, mismatched jumble, middle American Main Street, roughshod lumberjack, crab shack, fishing fleet, ways propped and suffused with gray market cash. Green is green. The hippie migration gravitates further north to a crazy quilt commune that calls itself town, snuggled like a furry cat in the lap of its benefactor, HSU Arcata, a Main Street episode of Twilight Zone, directed by Wavy Gravy. And here in Humboldt County, my son's chosen home, completing his own immigration to an anomalous homestead, with a son from the deep south who survived to age 9 despite formative years, with a mom later jailed for molesting her 12-year-old cousin. Plus, baby mama and daughter, a second chance effort that mama supplanted for an interim moment by a woman homonymous and a drunk Reno wedding, reconciled and evicted and back in my home before moving forever to Humboldt, green Humboldt, all supported by tattoos, my son's ceaseless inking, his painting aborted in youth and shallowly buried beneath a rough mound of Oxycontin and beer. A flow that would wash him straight out of college and into the arms and legs of that riding backward naked in his lap on his motorcycle woman, whose arms he had left just before over the rise and through the back of that Camaro. Crash. Motorcycle, Camaro, 15 bones in all, 100 miles an hour, 6 months in bed. He'll never walk. But he did. Set tile for a living until his knees couldn't take it. Convinced a shop owner he'd be a tattoo apprentice. The news of that wreck launched me on a quest to know this boy I never knew, because his mother did not want it so, and psych majors must know better. Did everything in her perverse power to prevent me from knowing him, to prevent him from knowing me, from age 1 to 21. Thank you.
You got it? Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. The title of this is Ursa. She wheezes a laugh through her big grin, then sprints away, carefully keeping herself 10 long paces from my reach. Dragging her leash, she glances back, merrily huffing, mocking, exhaling over her plump rump. As soon as I get close enough to lunge for the leash, she huffs away and then stops to look over her shoulder and grin. She knows her way to the park. She watches for cars, and she's large. True, she's easily spotted, but I worry about careless humans. Frightened people scatter as she galumps into the park. Huge dog, big black beast. Is it a bear? She sees them leap away, their eyes huge, and her grin gets bigger, and her joy at this invigorates her. She fairly dances and wiggles from head to tail. Finally, she skids to a halt near home plate at the baseball diamond, kicking up a dust devil twice her size. My sweaty face means nothing to her, yet everything. There is another test. A big, heavy paw rests on the leash that had been deliberately snatched away. I grab her collar and strain as I struggle to move her resistant leg so I can retrieve the leash, the handhold we share when she allows. It's not as strong as the bond between us. It's only a prop. It's a prop, however, that greatly amuses this girl who applies even more weight on that paw, and Wheezy huffs doggy chuckles as my arm muscles begin to strain even more. Bend your leg, I say, and she pops her knee, sending me stumbling backward a bit. As I finally get a grip, I lean in. She licks my perspiring face, and I secretly hope some of the dust gets washed off, but ew, dog spit. Her gaze, those eyes, eye contact with such a being is a privilege, a taste of the stores of love put away for me. Her kind, beautiful eyes say, "Here it is, all for you. You are the light that makes me shine." I know that I'm not worthy, but I will continue to try to live up to this gift. I lean down and lay my cheek on the top of her head and inhale her doggy fragrance while gently grabbing her scruff. I angle my face the better to see and examine closely the top of her head, the sun glinting off all the little hairs in all the colors of earth and life. A constellation forms a crown of light play atop a dog who could impersonate a bear. "Bitch," I whisper, and we both do the wheezy laugh.
Do you still have a Netflix account? Who's paying for it? It's been like a year. Do they care you don't need it? I guess they wouldn't know, but that's like $100 wasted. Probably more than that. I've lost count of the days. I can't remember what you look like sometimes. I remember your warmth and your touch, even your smell, but your face eludes me. I have pictures of you, though. Did you always look like that? That seems wrong. That can't be right. You usually smile. I remember that. I don't think I've ever seen you without one. I like to think you left with a smile, but I wouldn't know. It was a closed casket. We only talk through old pictures and writings, some of which you'll never hear or read. You feel like a collage at this point. I feel like a souvenir of who I used to be, an angry ghost trapped living the same day over and over again. I miss feeling whole again. I miss not hating the people around me for having the audacity to live their lives normally while I sit here wallowing in my own self-pity every day. You died, and I've made it about me like I usually do. I like to tell people that this experience has made me a better person but I'm not convinced that I've changed at all. But I guess it's a process. I saw that new Flash movie recently. It sucked. I think you'd probably like it, though. Movies in general made you really happy. I guess that's why I didn't hate the entire thing. By the way, did you still have that Netflix account? Thank you.
So hi, my name is Jazz. I'm like the one who hosted the poetry event. I'm not really one to express poetry or like my writings because it's just more of a form for me to vent. But I figured why not? It's an open mic. So here we go with one that's called Expressing Myself. I always wanted to express myself, whether if it was getting a new tattoo or getting a different hairstyle. Why, you may ask? Because I always knew I was different than the rest of my Mexican family. I'm the bisexual child who cannot date girls because of her religion and Mexican heritage. I am the doll that cannot pick an adult decision without it being overridden by her immigrant parents. I am the disappointment that hurts her family with all her selfishness, all because I wanted to escape to a university not close to home. I am the pendeja for not studying, a better example when I make the smallest of mistakes. I am the mija who took care of her younger sisters when my parents worked long hours and couldn't pay for a babysitter. I am the bitch who yelled at my dad when I kept trying to explain that he was only emotionally unavailable to me and not my siblings. Mama, Papa, don't you see? I want to have an opportunity to be a teen, to go out late at night, to game with my friends until 12 in the morning, or to eat Denny's at 3 a.m. I just want to breed. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Marisela Hernandez. I am the Marketing and Development Coordinator here at CMAC. I've been working here since 2018, from starting as a part-timer and now moving on up, which is great. I have a couple poems that I like to share. This is from like an 18-year-old version of me, so there's a lot of teenage angst in there. So I hope you enjoy. I go by many names. Marisela is the first. I'm a friend, I'm a foe, I'm a woman, I'm a girl. I could be the nicest kid in town. I could be the best friend that builds you up, or the monster that tears you down. The truth is, I'm all that and more. The options are limitless. They vary by the people I come across. I could be one of the 7 deadliest sins. I'm the source of your anger. I can be your anchor. I'm a nurturer, a healer, your greatest challenge. I'm a lover, I'm a giver. My gifts are unique, nothing too special. At times, they may be simple. To some, they can be worthless. Its value varies. It can invoke emotions. It can be poisonous. It can be a poisonous curse to some. I am many things to many people. I am nobody in the eyes of a stranger. I'm a beloved daughter to my parents. I'm a bitch to those who cross me, and I'm an orphan in my darkest moments. Thank you. This is another one. Again, teenage angst. So it's coming from like a frustrated place, but you feel inspired when you write, when you're feeling angry and you want to write. What do I have to offer? More misery and pain? More than you ever seen before. In comparison, the damage and hurt what I will inflict will be greater than the joy and laughter we will share. It seems that every corner there is always a mistake. I feel it inside me, doubt. I'm not sure how it came to be, but it's suffocating. Every step. How is it that I'm hurting the person I love the most? I will jump through hoops for strangers, but for someone who is the closest to me becomes an impossible task. I feel like I'm doing more, but it's never enough. My doubt is consuming me from the inside. I've become a ragged puppet. I'm a weed. Wherever I go, I spread my seed. Thank you on that one. All right, and then just to end on a pretty good note, I wrote this for my best friend. Oh, actually, I wrote this for something else. I forgot this was different. There's a place where we all end up. It's a special place. Only those who have done their time receive the invite. But sooner or later, we end up there. Invitations are sent, but no one can RSVP. You can't sneak in. The gatekeeper stands guard. It's a place of peace and love, where the weight of this life dissipates. The trials and tribulations we have endured prepare us for this place. Thank you. And if you guys just came, you guys are more than welcome to step up to the mic and share your spoken word. Oh, thank you. Come on up.
My name is Diego Rivera, and I just happened to come to CMAC because I like CMAC. So, and then I saw this, and then I went to the car, got my poetry. But this is an old poem I wrote, years ago, and I actually downloaded it last night for a homework assignment. Shoot, probably this. Yeah. Let me see. This one's called like the young lady said. This was kind of inspired through frustrated moments, and just kind of trying to control my energy and use it in a positive way. So this is called meditation, and mine's kind of lyrical, but it goes like this: Lost in mind travel, my biggest wars are mind battles, concentrated thoughts through galaxies and planet rocks. I feel the cool darkness as I pray towards the stars, listening to my heart in search for the light. With my eyes closed in prayer, ancient meditation, letting my spirit inside be my guide. Sacred is life, all fears aside. It takes the whole honey hive, united, to stay alive. Strive with better ways, for better days. Alive, plant seeds in Mother Earth, let the garden grow. Timing and life tests with her help, now you know. Spiritual elements to one's soul. With great timing and love is gold. I messed up at the end, but that was one. Like I said, I wrote years ago. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I have another one, but I think I'll save that for the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Sorry, that was a little loud. Good evening. My name is Monica. This is my first ever poetry night or reading poetry. I'm already a little working up because this writing that I have was back in 2020. It was a very dark space in my life, and I never even knew it was poetry. I just love to write. Whenever I get any emotion, I'm like, let me write this down, just to let it out, So, let me start off. Why am I like this? Why can't I be happy? There's a little profanity. Why must the devil himself try to fuck my life up? I was never mad at the world, and I never hated life itself. I've only hated the bad in it. And somehow, I've come to grow a hate for everything. The pain in my heart took over my whole body, and I no longer feel the good in life. And I only possess sad thoughts that affect me on a daily basis. I no longer feel the good in life. It's as if I'm paralyzed. And although I love my family with a passion, but in the moment of rage and pity, nothing else matters. I'm a coward who's afraid of life, the past, the present, the future. And I'm not meant to be here. I can't say that things would be easier if I'd maybe let go. But some could say I'm stupid, unorthodox, and truly, honestly, maybe I am. But I'm a complete idiot, right? Or am I just a damaged angel who needs to be healed? My wings may not work right now. And maybe with the slightest bit of hope, they will repair through time. It's what I've always longed for. So why can't I just accept that life is cruel and fucked up? Instead of feeling tired all the time, wanting to sleep and never wake up. I was always a happy one. I'm always a happy one. And however, the inside of me continues to be numb. And while this back and forth game is a repetitive cycle, it's hard to have faith. But yet, I hope and I pray that my mark on earth will be not remembered as a failure, but rather a survivor. And that's exactly what I am, a survivor. Depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts can all kiss my ass. The heck I look like giving up. And fuck anyone who doesn't understand, because you never would. And that's all. Thank you.
So this is the second time that I've ever done a slam poem. In my 37-year English teaching career, no whiskey could clear my disabling fear they'd find out I was queer. So I grew my hair long and I tried to belong to a world that they knew, and had they no clue that the cover of this book was a fabricated look. I was a favorite and they were a gift, a teaching star doing air guitar, and I loved them like hell in spite of themselves. They felt safe in my presence, loved me and my lessons. Rise above like a steeple. You are only as beautiful as how you treat people. We read books about love and poems I'm in awe of, books about fate and books Gatsby great, of mice and men and scout and gem, of wrath and grapes, bird songs in a cage. Ultima bless me, house my spirit. Allende went to the mountain, justice rolled like a fountain. Dreams were deferred but held fast undeterred. Thurgood marshaled his justice. It meant more than just us. Amy Tan's Joy Lucky Crew, Achebe's Things That Went Askew, 575 for Basho's haiku. Eliot, Dare I Eat a Peach? Nevermore, the raven preached. We read all we could, and they wrote all they would. Some kids on the fringes with empty syringes, while preps called the shots and the others dared not. And I loved them all, made each one feel tall, seen and heard when they'd fall, when the world said to them they were nothing at all. I gave them a voice, while I made the choice not to engage, to stifle the rage, to take to the stage and act for the world like a perfect straight girl. I had to be best, make sure they nailed the state tests, so they give me a pass and not fire my ass. I stuck to my shtick, built my hard wall of bricks, but I was buried deep 6, 'cause your secrets keep you sick. My body, spirit, and mind were racked from the grind of hiding behind a facade, towing the line. It was all proof that not speaking my truth and playing a role was death for my soul. Fear kept me in binders till the day I retired. It's taken 2 years to silence the fears, heal my body with tears, wander wild frontiers. Meditation, hot yoga, Ayahuasca in a toga, trapped in a prison of bufo poison. Shrooms took me airborne on a rainbow unicorn. Quantum hypnosis, shadow neurosis, craniosacral, back to the cradle. Reiki dissects the knots in my necks. Angels talk through hummingbirds and hawks. Natal charts and psychic arts, circles and drums, shaman journeys begun, all to heal from the trauma. Open up my throat chakra. Now I'm nearly resurrected. My voice is perfected, in the mirror reflected, a warrior respected, no longer rejected. I'm hyper-connected, and I've architected a soul that's protected. I am the answered prayers of my ancestors. I am medicine and manifester. I return power to generations of women worthy of veneration. Now I've got a megaphone and I won't leave you alone. If I see you on the street, can't wait for you to meet my love and my life, my fantabulous wife. 32 years. Yes, that's what you've heard, and I'll say it out loud, out from under my shroud. I won't let the world change me. I'll change the world. You will see, be the change that must be. Speak my truth. Finally, I am free. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, am I good to start, Anita? Okay. Yeah, the last one I did was kind of depressing. It was about my dead grandpa. So I wrote, this one was about a girl I was really into in college. Okay. When you walk past me, I feel like I'm floating in the air, yet you never stare at me. And when you walk past me, I nervously just play with my hair, and you don't care. And when you walk past me, I don't think you know that I'm there. I know I only stopped by for the holidays, but at any moment I can be there. I'll hang around you like a bunch of busted up ornaments. I'm beaten, battered, and bruised. And through all the cracks and all the dents, I'll shine down as you walk around, and maybe then you'll stare too. Life's going too fast now. I don't get to see you at all. And I think that's my fault. Let's drive down my hometown, and we can put it in park. I always preferred to walk. I promise I just wanted to talk. I'll hang around you for a while like a bunch of busted up ornaments. I'm beaten, battered, and bruised. Through all of the cracks and my dents, I'll shine down as you walk around, and then maybe you'll stare too. Thanks.
This one's called Family Life. Family life, family time, guided by what feels right. My footsteps and movements are led by spiritual insight. Spiritually free, my faith is in a divine light that keeps everything alive. Cannabis vibes, plant life, focus on goals as I roll through the night, enjoying the city lights, the energy that ignites. The distractions stay active, it's a fight to stay right. So I stay in a plant life, family state of mind. With meditations to create the right patience, it's a family of California bears and Fresno natives. Thank you.